Hello friends, this video is going to be on how to graph or how to analyze the sine and cosine curves when we are considering the variables a, b, and d. Alrighty, so we have our original equation, which is right here. I am sorry that the one in Canvas, here's our equation. That's what this says, but it did not change it into math type. So anyway, I wrote it up there so you could see it. Our parent, I always like to start with the parent. Let me undo that. There we go. The parent, what you have in your notes is, in your notes you have y equals a sine parenthesis b theta plus c plus d. That's what you have in your notes. And your first thought is, well, this problem really doesn't look like that. And I would agree that the problem doesn't really look like that, but it would if you would rewrite it. Y equals -3 sine 1/4 of theta plus 0 minus 2. So let's first of all talk about, just to have a little quick side note here, that theta over 4 is equal to 1/4 theta, because there's really a 1 right here, okay? All right, so given that information, the value of A is here. The value of B is here. The value of C is here. The value of D is here. So we are going to write that information down. We are going to say that A is -3. That means the amplitude is 3. And that means the curve is vertically stretched. It is 3 times taller than the parent. Okay. The word is sine and the number is negative. So if the word is sine and the number is negative, that means the curve is going to begin at the midline and go down. This one. The domain never changes. The domain is -infinity to infinity. Alrighty. B. B is 1. Period is, whoops, B is not 1. B is 1/4. All right, so B is 1/4. So let's talk about that. We have a rule that says the period is equal to 2 pi divided by B. So we have the period is equal to 2 pi divided by 1/4, which means we are going to take this 1/4, and we're going to move it above the fraction bar and flip it over. So 2 pi times 4 is 8 pi. So the period is 8 pi. That means it is going to be slow. This curve is repeating more slowly than the normal curve. Okay. C is 0, and as long as that is 0, this is none. And D is -2. So this is y equals -2. And that means that it is 2 units. Actually, I think I write that out. 2 units below. Here we go. That one. Alrighty. So if we were to graph this, our midline is at -2. Our amplitude is 3, correct? So that means -2 plus 3 is 1, and -2 minus 3 is -4. So our range is -4 to 1. We would begin at the middle, and it's negative sine. We would begin at the middle, so it would go like this. And this would be 8 pi. There we go. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so the rule is y equals a sine b theta plus c plus d. So if I rewrite the problem, a little thinner maybe, it is y equals -7 sine 4 theta plus 0 plus d minus 5. So then a is equal to -7. So this is 7. This curve is vertically stretched. It is 7 times taller. Okay. This b is equal to 4. So b is equal to 4. So the period equals 2 pi divided by b. So period equals 2 pi divided by 4. So period equals pi divided by 2. So this is pi divided by 2, which means it is faster. than the parent. It is faster than the parent. And it was 7 times taller. Okay, and then, whoops, C is equal to 0, so this is none, and, wrong color, D is equal to -5. So the line is y equals -5. So it is 5 units below. Where it's supposed to be. The domain never changes. The domain is -infinity to infinity, because this is a negative sign. It is going to begin, whoops, begin at the midline and go down, which means that's the highest point on the graph, that's the midline of the graph, that is the lowest part of the graph, that is the y-axis, the midline is -5, the distance is 7, -5 plus 7, -5 plus 7 is 2, -5 minus 7 is -12. So the range is -12 to 2. And the graph would start here, it would go down, it would come back to the middle, it would go up, and it would end at the middle, and that would be half a pi. Which I guess actually I should put in pink. That would be half a pi. All right, we can do one more if you want, I think. Yep. All right, so the rule is y equals a cosine b theta c d. The equation is y equals -5 cosine 1/2 of theta and 0 and 4. That is the rule. The domain is -infinity to infinity. And this is the negative cosine curve. So it is going to graph this curve, begin at lowest point, and go up. So if this was the highest peak, this was the midline, and this was the lowest, and this is the y-axis, then we would begin here at the lowest point. We'd go up to the middle, we'd hit the top, we'd return to the middle, and then return to where we started. Whoops, it's not that kind of a curve. That, and then that, and then that. And then this spot right here would be, we'll do that in a moment. All right, okay, so A. negative 5, 5 units above, 5 units below. It is vertically stretched. It is 5 times taller.